Red button means we're live. A casual take with your boy Stephen Pepper, here to give a take off my chest. So over the weekend, the NFL's top 100, the top 10 was finally released. And oh boy, unless you were in a coma over the weekend, how could you avoid all the outrage on the list? And it came about Patrick Mahomes' placement. Patrick Mahomes, who I think is the best quarterback in the league, was voted not number one, not number two, not number three, but number four. And geez Louise, NFL Twitter over the weekend and then all the sports talk shows on Monday, it was a leading segment. It was a leading take. Boy, were they pissed. How can Patrick Mahomes not be number one? This list sucks. Let me tell you something. The outrage, or should I say fake outrage from the media over this top 100 placement of Patrick Mahomes is so hypocritical and ignorant to me. Because first of all, you can't attack a list unless you understand the criteria. Now, the top 100 has probably the messiest criteria of any list in the world, but it's a players voted list given to them around Thanksgiving, not the end of the season, Thanksgiving. Some players vote, some don't. Some only put four down, some scribble on the entire list. Some only vote for the boys. Some put their rivals way down. And name recognition carries a lot of weight. If your name's Aaron Rodgers and you took only like 4 steps in the entire season, you get ranked 92. But if your name's Jalen Johnson, an all-pro who played like every game, but no one knows your name, buddy, you ain't making the list. But it's primarily a list based on last season's regular season, not the playoffs, the regular season. So I find it funny that the media cried all yesterday. How is Patrick Mahomes not number one, let alone the best quarterback on the list? When it's the same damn media that told us all last season that Lamar Jackson was the MVP because he had the best season. Make it make sense. You tell us one thing, then you tell us another thing. If Lamar Jackson had the best quarterback season last season, then you shouldn't have a problem with him being above Patrick Mahomes. You know what my theory is about this whole thing? I just think we're bored. Hey, I'm bored too. But the media especially, because they got to come. I only come on here a couple days a week. The media's got to come on here 5 days a week and talk for an hour or two when I talk for 5 minutes. They got to find segments. And the NFL drives ratings. The NFL is the biggest sport in America. People want to talk about the NFL. And when it's an NFL offseason that's long and boring, it's a problem. I mean, especially with the diminishing value of the preseason where starters don't play, from the April draft to about first week of September, we don't have anything to talk about other than some holdouts. I cover the Bengals for part of my internship. Day 2 of like Jamar Chase holding out, like the news is already old. So they want something to talk about. And they took the textbook playbook right out of the mainstream media, the CNN, Fox Newses of the world. When you need something to talk about, just create fake outrage. Just create something that you really don't care about, but you have to for attention. And it's this list. Like, why is this leading segments? This list is super irrelevant. Because Patrick Mahomes, let's be honest. I mean, did we not listen to anything that we talked about, the same media, all last season? Mahomes, I do think he's the best quarterback in the league. Don't get me wrong. And he proved it by winning the Super Bowl. But his season wasn't all that great last season. I mean, what was the media trying to tell us all last year? That this Chiefs team was the worst offense in the Mahomes-Reid era. And if you look at Mahomes' statistics, it's not better than Purdy, Tua. It's not better than Dax, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. All those guys had better seasons. Mahomes wasn't even an all-pro. And Mahomes was above all those guys in the regular season, not named Lamar Jackson. Again, Mahomes won the Super Bowl. He beat Tua, Allen, Mahomes, Purdy. Lamar in the playoffs. But this is a regular season list. So how can you use, like Nick Wright, how can you use the playoffs as part of your ranking when players are given this list like week 14 when they hop out of the shower? Hell, half of these players got CTE. So you're really putting a lot of effort into a list where players are getting handed this when they're hopping out of a shower after practice and got to scribble a couple names down. Half the NFL doesn't even vote on this list. Like, to all my NBA fans out there, let me put this in perspective. This would be like if Steph Curry was voted the best player in the league in 2016. Because what if the NBA players were given a ballot around the All-Star break and had to say, who's the best player in 2016 based on the season's performance? Steph Curry was unanimous MVP. Steph Curry would be number one. Obviously, LeBron James was overall the best player because he cleaned it up by the 3-1 comeback, but Steph Curry was technically had the best season. So you can't be mad at people voting Steph Curry as the best player. Same thing with Lamar being 2 and Mahomes being 4. But anyways, this list is so irrelevant. I don't know why everyone cared about this. This list sucked. I used to think this was a big deal when I was a kid. I thought it was really cool. But then I realized it's a player-voted list, the messiest criteria ever. And as far as I know, this doesn't put you in the Hall of Fame. This doesn't even touch your legacy. So why should I care? Like, I couldn't tell you the last 3 top 5 finishers. I couldn't tell you that because this list is super irrelevant. It doesn't affect any legacies. But I think people are bored. They need a segment. So they're going to create some fake outrage. Because you told us all season long that Lamar Jackson was the MVP because he had the best season out of anybody in the league. But now you're going to get mad that Lamar Jackson is 2 spots ahead of Patrick Mahomes on a regular season list. But I appreciate everyone for tuning in to this episode of 8 Casual Take, back-to-back episodes. I'm a W. Follow my social media, stay updated on all things related to the show. Until next time, see you.